Right, good morning. This is a follow-up to a previous video where I went through the interior of this car. Well, actually it might not be a follow-up, you might be viewing this one before the other one, but whatever. This is a 525 SE estate petrol. It is for sale. I'm going to do a walk around on the outside. I just washed the car. Good trade trick, keep the paintwork nice and wet, makes it look nice and glossy. I'm being cynical, that's just an allegation. They don't do that in the trade. I'm not in the trade, by the way, but no, the paintwork's drying off. I'm going to move the car and we'll go and have a walk around. I may do yet another follow-up video where I'm actually driving the thing. It's 15th of December. Good idea to sell a car just before Christmas in the middle of winter, but it is what it is. So just bear with me. I'm going to set the car camera up and we'll move the car away from the enemy and then we'll do a walk around. Right, let's get motoring. 2007 525 SE petrol 3 litre non-turbo. I think we'll start at the front. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, or in this case the elephant on the bonnet. There is a football depression on the bonnet. It was there when I bought it and I never even spotted it. I'm going to point out where it is. It's there. Paintwork is not damaged at all. I can actually put my hands under the bonnet and lift it, but I'm not going to risk it. It is an easy fix, but it's a classic case of somebody's football has bounced on the bonnet. And I bought the car without even noticing it. And I'm not naive. Anyway, we'll start at the front and we'll work our way back. I'll take you through what I've done with this car. Bought it in summer of 2017, 123,000 miles at that time. Nothing like a bonfire. The smell of the country. 123,000 when I bought it. It's now on 151, so 28,000 miles. Almost exclusively long journeys, motorways. I live in Berkshire, Manchester and back, Birmingham and back, Cornwall and back in a day. Loosely I'm in IT. I need a large comfortable car because I'm doing long distances and I don't carry rubble in the back. I'm not a builder, as I say, I'm in IT, so it tends to be high value computing equipment, which is why it's an estate and why the enemy is over there as well. I've got two cars, I don't need them both. I've decided I'm going to sell this one. So I went through the normal pain that anybody that's had the 4-cylinder version, the N43, and in this case it's the N53, the dreaded injectors. Bank 1 new injectors a couple of years ago, Series 11 or Stroke 11s. Bank 2 Stroke 8s, I think, the originals, they're okay. New spark plugs, 2 sets of spark plugs since I've had it. These engines tend to really eat the spark plugs. They're triple electrodes, and the centre they're not. There's one electrode in the middle, but you know what I'm saying. But that centre electrode is really narrow diameter. You get about 25,000 miles out of a set of plugs, and then she'll start misfiring. Water pump, Peerberg. That was working, but it was throwing a code. Lack of communication, I think it was. So I thought, right, well, I'm going to replace that just to be on the safe side. At that time I did a complete coolant flush. Power steering over here, completely drained that, flushed that through with CEF, I think that's what it is. It's not your normal pink power steering fluid. I've done about 2 oil changes. It is due for a third. Serpentine belt, idler pulleys, they've been done. Air filter, that's been replaced. The coils are original, immaculately clean, no evidence of any oil down in the plug wells. No problems with the ABS. Aircon, check the pressure, the feel level with the pressure gauge back in the summer, it's spot on, works very well. Dual zone climate control. I have converted to HIDs. These lenses are a bit fogged up. I've literally only just started the car for the first time in about a month. I've had it on a trickle charge and it's been filthy wet, horrible weather here. but there's no water ingress problems in these headlights at all. They're absolutely spotless inside. Originally these are original projectors, but they would have had halogens. Appalling. So I fitted a 55 watt HID kit, and I deliberately mounted these to be accessible in case I needed to go back, but I've not had any issues, and it's a vast improvement on the halogens. Driving blind without it in modern traffic, basically. Pollen filters, I've not replaced them. I blow them out. I check them probably 3 times a year. Where I live I get a lot of leaves, and I don't have a problem in here where the brake reservoir and master cylinder is. The drain is clear. That was one of the first jobs I checked when I got the car, but I do check it at least once a year. It's not that involved to take all this stuff out and give it a check. Suspension top struts. When I first bought the car it had run flats. Appalling ride quality, very noisy on the front end, and I did replace the top bearings on both sides, but that didn't have any effect. And then I went through the painful process of going to radials. You can see in the previous video, or the other video, where I talk about the conversion. So I've got a space saver tyre in the rear well. The discs are going to look a bit rusty because I've just washed the car and it has been parked up, but basically I replaced the discs earlier this year. They've probably done about 2,000 miles, 2,000-3,000 miles. New discs and pads, both sides on the front, new upper and lower suspension arms. Basically I did that at the same time, and that finally quietened down the front end. I also have replaced the front anti-roll bar bushes as well, so it's all good on the front end in terms of suspension. Moving to the middle of the car, I did a gearbox flush. I drained the gearbox, took the sump off, cleaned out the sump, refitted it, then refilled the gearbox, obviously with new oil. Then I drained it out again, and then I fitted the new sump and filter, and then refilled it. So that's about as far as I can go in terms of trying to flush out all of the fluid. Didn't make any change at all to the gearbox. There was nothing wrong with it anyway, and it drives fine in terms of gearbox. Absolutely no issues at all. Haven't done anything on the rear. Still got the original discs and pads actually when I bought the car, and I'm not a heavy braker. There is a wear lip on the rear discs. Do they need replacing? Not yet. Perhaps in a year or two time. It depends how hard you drive, but I've not done anything on the rear suspension. I did buy 4 litres of differential oil, which I never got round to doing. I looked at the drain plug and I thought, I had a go and it was really tight, and I thought, do you know what, the diff is bone dry, there's no evidence of any oil leaks anywhere. I've still got it and I'll sell that with the car. Air suspension on the back, never sags, never drops. You'll hear it cut in when you first start the car for 5 seconds or so, and then that's it really. Not done anything to the rear suspension or the exhaust system. So let's have a look at the bodywork rather. I'm sure there's some other stuff I've done under the bonnet, fettling as they say, over the time. But, yeah, when I did the gearbox refill, I disconnected from the oil cooler at the front to drain that out as well. So yeah. Right, see if we can get a view down the side. Well, let's start here on near side front corner. Work our way down the side and then finish off at the bonnet. Wheel arches are good. That's plastic anyway, but there's no corrosion at all. That is dead smooth on that front arch. So we can get a view down the side. There is, dare I say, there is a dink on one of these doors. Oh yeah, that's previous damage. The previous owners really looked after this car, because any little imperfections, they've been straight onto it and given them the touch up. But I've got a feeling there is an actual, can't really see it. Rear quarter, Rear bumper, not a mark on it. No scuffs at all. I don't think this car's had... The only paintwork it's had is on the front bumper, and I'll show you that. A little scuff there. But again, the rear apron. Nothing. Well, you be the judge. See if we can get a view down this side. Oh, let's go back round this side. A sec. Let's have a look at the wheel arches. I don't know whether that's factory, that sort of stone guard. I've never done anything to the bodywork on this car. I've just mechanically maintained it. I know my limitations, bodywork isn't one of them. That's nice and smooth, and then again we've got, I think one or other, maybe the other side, that's got a slightly different finish, so maybe the other side has had a tickle. Right, what have we got on this side? There's a little mark on that door that's been touched up. That's water. A couple of little black marks there. I hope this is coming out alright. I don't want to have to do it a second time. Perfectly smooth in the front wheel arch. There is a mark there. Fog lights are all intact. And yeah, over here there's some horizontal scratches, and it has had some paint applied over the top, and it was a bit rough looking, so I took a mop to it, probably 2 or 3 years ago now. So that's had a scuff there. There's some really light scratches there. That's from a hedge, I think, down at the local post office. Yeah, really light. They will come out. Headlamp wash, that works fine. As I say, the football dent in the bonnet. Windscreen, some really small stone chips. That's a bit larger, but it is what it is. Probably the original screen. On the driver's side, we've got a few little pepper marks. There's one up there, but nothing to be of concern. The door mirrors, there's a tiny little mark there, but no scuffs. Door handles, not all scratched up and horrible. Let's have a look at the tailgate. I mentioned on a previous video I'd replaced the struts last year, I think it was. Aftermarket. I've still got one of the original BMW ones. I think it's for this side, twice as thick. These are fine. They weren't expensive, and the website I got them from, you had to decide what poundage you want, or kilograms, rating, etc. And I could have gone a little bit stronger because this is a very heavy tailgate. But in terms of up here, that's actually just, that's dirt. There is no rust on that tailgate. And it does, yeah, it's not looking its best. I have to do that at least once a year. But I'm not going to go through the boot. That's in the other video. I've gone through all of that. But it has, ooh, I shouldn't do that. It's supposed to be soft close. A very presentable car. Previous owners really looked after it, and as I've said in the other video, the basic build quality goes an awful long way as well. They really do keep their shine, and you get what you pay for, as they say. And there's the enemy in the background. Now this is interesting. You're going to say, well, I'd say that anyway. That's a 3-litre diesel. It's a V6. It's the LM642 engine. That's a 3-litre petrol, straight 6. This car, the BMW, is more economical than that car. There's not much in it, but in terms of miles per gallon, the Merc, the Shield she'll get over 40 to the gallon, but not a lot. And if you just start putting your foot down, it's back down to 39. And with diesel being more expensive than petrol, it's actually, from a fuel economy perspective, this is a more expensive car to run, but it has other advantages, and that's why I'm going to keep that one. It's worth less. I got that for a really good price, but I've had to spend some time and money on it. So as I say, not the best time of year to sell this car. I suspect I'm going to be keeping this until probably early spring, but I've got garage space for it. It's been outside until now. I think I need to put it away. I will probably put it on the BMW Owners Forum, upload this to YouTube, see if I can generate some interest. As I say, in the other video I talk about the interior and how it drives. Check that one out. It's a very comfortable car, as you would expect it to be, you know. And it's what they call all up together straight. I've got all the original documentation, service book that's stamped up, full service history. I've put that into a spreadsheet. I've spent £2,500 on this car with all sorts of bits and pieces. Injectors were probably the most expensive individual items, but as I say, to get to £2,500, I've put a lot of money into this car. I won't have a car that's not reliable, that looks tatty. This is my office. If I'm getting in this car at this time of year at 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to Yorkshire and back in a day, I want to make sure it will get there and back. Oh, tyres. Budgets on the back. I bought those first. They were on the front. They're Hokey Cokey 2000s now. What are they? They're unheard of. Forget it. Dunlops on the front. They're a better car, Sport Max. I went for Dunlops because I looked at the DB, the sound levels, and they're a quiet tyre. Obviously the Michelins are the go-to must-have tyre, but they're just so expensive. Tyres are very emotive. I'll stop there. Everybody's got their opinion on them, and fair play to you. I've never personally noticed much difference with brands of tyres over the years, and I have spent since 1987 being everything from a field service engineer. I mean, 1 month I did about 11,000 miles in things like Ford Escorts and Cavaliers back in the old days, and I've had new cars, lease cars, company cars, and I can't say I notice a difference in terms of grip. Ovation, that's what we got on the back. Fooling around, let's have a look at the tread. 5mm perhaps. They've done more than the Dunlops. Dunlops, oh, I don't know when I got them, a year or more ago, but let's see if we can have a look under there. I'm not getting on my hands and knees in this weather, but plenty of tread on the tyres all round. Basically, you've got a car here. It's MOT'd until May next year. Yeah, May next year. And had a UACE battery less than a year ago. 100 amp, 110 amp. That's been coded in. Talk about that in the other video. So this is a car you can get in and just drive. LED lights on the back. It's a bit of a mismatch. We've got indicators are LED, side and tail are LED. Brake light is filament. Talk about penny pinching. On the front we've got LED side markers, and we've got filament bulb for the indicator and the angel eyes. I haven't mucked about putting LEDs in there. It's still the original 6-watt bulbs, which I have replaced. High beams are halogen as well. So yeah, please buy this car. You know, it's got to go. Thanks for watching. Over and out. Well, let's take advantage of that sunlight. Yeah, go on, you want to buy it. Gotta have it. 3-owner car. Full service history.